Whose stock is up, whose stock is down in fantasy football after week 13? Moving up, Chuba Hubbard, and moving down, Rico Dowdle this week. The Rams were the hardest matchup in the NFL for running backs, but both of them had serviceable games. The thing is that we saw more than 50% of snaps go to Chuba Hubbard for the first time since week 8. I've been lower on Rico Dowdle than most experts for the last few weeks. I was worried that something like this might happen. Still, both of these guys are borderline top 30 running backs rest of the year. Bouncing on one of these with your baby is the single best way to make him calm down. I would move up Jacoby Brissett after another 300 passing yard 2 TD game, but he was already way higher in my rankings than any other expert I know of. I already had him in the top 9 QB. Differing from expert consensus is a big part of what's allowed me to win 36% of all my fantasy football leagues the last 20 plus years. If you're curious exactly where I rank all these guys, you can go to my site fansports.com. I show my ranking as well as the consensus expert ranking and a lot of other tools to help you win your fantasy football league. No gambling sponsors, just me making a site to help you be better at fantasy football. I'm also moving up Tyrod Taylor a bit. I highlighted him in Nesto's crystal ball and he had a great game. We saw the rushing upside, we saw the passing upside. I like him overall for the rest of the season. Probably going to be a top 15-ish QB. AD Adonai Mitchell is officially the #1 receiver on the Jets. I really wish I had talked about him more last week. I've talked about him for several weeks leading up to that. I got a little bit hyped up by John Mechie III. He still might have some value, by the way, 8 targets, but this is Adonai Mitchell's team. He's the most exciting receiver on this team. 12 targets is elite wide receiver 1 usage. Also moving up Kirk Cousins. This has sneakily been his second straight solid game, and this is without Drake London, who's going to elevate this whole offense. I was going to move up Marvin Harrison Jr. and down Michael Wilson, but then we saw Marvin Harrison Jr. get a heel injury. Those can lag a little bit, so I think that we're going to stay put with where they're ranked currently. Bucky Irving returned, dominated snap share, looking like the clear RB1 in Tampa Bay, and they have a cheese schedule from here on out. Consequently, going to move down Sean Tucker a bit. He basically played the Bucky Irving role. Chris Godwin is also moving up. He finally looked relevant this game, and consequently, we're going to move Cade Otton down. He basically only has value while the other receivers on Tampa Bay are injured. Tempted to move up Blake Corum, but he still had only half as many snaps as Kyren Williams, even if he did a lot more with those snaps. I would move up Alec Pierce and down Michael Pittman after their games, but this is basically what we thought they were. I've never liked Michael Pittman as a wide receiver 1, and I thought Alec Pierce was always a boom bust guy, but he's still a top 30 wide receiver for sure. Moving down all players on the Titans, this was a game where Cam Ward finally regressed a bit. That means Chimere Dike is down. That means Eli Manor is down. That means Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears are also down. I've been a little bit of a Titans apologist all year long, thinking that because this team is bad, they're going to get a lot of pass attempts and have some fantasy value down the stretch. They still have some favorable matchups, but I'm giving up on them just a little bit. Moving up Jalen Coker slightly, but just consider Ted McMillan and Xavier Legette both had more snaps and routes run, so it's not going to be a dominant situation for him in terms of volume week to week. Jauan Jennings had another solid game, but I'm still thinking it's sort of a toss-up between him and Ricky Pearsall. I think based on the matchup, we'll see either of them have a good week. Neither of them is that dependable. And finally, a downgrade for Brian Thomas Jr. He returned and looked like the 3rd receiver on this team behind not only Brenton Strange, but of course Jacoby Myers, who had a big 50-yard play that inflated his stats a little bit, but he's still the top wide receiver to own on the Jaguars at this moment. That's all I got for this one. Thank you for spending a few valuable minutes of your day with me here. Don't forget to check out fansports.com if you want more resources to help you win your fantasy football league. Really appreciate you all. Stay learning. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.